Hello, I am Kevin Thornhill. I'm going to give you a brief overview on playing Texas Hold'em. There are three main things to consider when you're playing Texas Hold'em, whether you are a seasoned player or someone that is new to the game. They are your odds or percentages, betting your hand, and the playing styles of your opponents. First, we will talk about the odds and percentages and how they factor into play. The Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler, states that every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, but one has to know which hands are better than others in order to win at the game. Big cards can win hands, but they can also cause people to lose. That is because there are more small cards in a deck than there are large cards. And another thing to consider is odds and percentages constantly change every time a new card is added to the board. Now that we have talked about our odds and percentages, the next step a player must take is betting their hand. You bet your hand all of the time, whether you slow play a strong hand, or you just bet to see where you're at, or bluff at a pot. When you slow play a strong hand, usually you will sit back with that strong hand and wait for someone else to do most of the betting. This will allow you to milk more chips from your opponent, especially if they do not think you have a made hand. Another form of betting is what we call finding out where you are at. This happens when you may not have the best hand, but you have made a hand from the board. You usually place a bet, usually of good size, and that will make other players think twice about calling the bet. The final form of betting is what everyone knows as the bluff. It works the same as the finding out where you were at play, except you do it without a made hand. You do have to be careful when using this bet because if it is not timed right, you'll probably lose all of your chips. Knowing how to bet a hand and what percentages is not enough to make you successful Texas Hold'em player. The final thing to consider is also the wild card when playing Texas Hold'em. It's the playing style of other players. The first type of player is the percentage player. These players are patient and will not get into a hand unless they have something really strong or they are getting good odds to their money. The next type of player is the aggressor. This individual may also sometimes be called a chip bully. They're usually aggressively betting at every pot and trying to do what they can to win. But sometimes you can get them by catching their hands in the cookie jar. The last type of player is what we call the gamblers. They're not playing their odds, but they just want to bet and see if they do catch something. They'll also chase hands. They'll see if they get lucky. They may win some massive pots, but in the long run, they will lose in the tournament play. They're the same players you see reaching for their wallets when they're playing in cash games. But they can be very dangerous to your chip stack. In conclusion, there is no right or wrong way to play Texas Hold'em. There are only factors that have to be considered. Whether you're a new or seasoned player, you have to know the odds and percentages of your hands, how to bet these hands, and the playing styles of your opponents. I hope that my presentation has been informative to you in case you decide to start playing Texas Hold'em, or it may help you while you are playing. Thank you for your time and attention.